Welcome in, Tamers! We're back for yet another deck profile. This time we're covering another deck that I have fallen in love with over this last year and just vibed with heavily. That is Zephagamon. He's changed a little bit over the course of SR2.5 thanks to the Ace, and because of Medieval Gantman. Medieval was a great addition to this deck. It's very in-archetypal, but of course Medieval was very strong across all other decks and a very good generic card as well. But the deck has changed up slightly, so much so that we are now fully running ST18 Fluffymon. When attacking, you may suspend one other Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. And that's not too bad, because this deck kind of revolves around forcing your opponent to be suspended constantly. Vortex wants your opponents to be suspended and all of that great stuff. So let's get into the rest of the deck. We're running 4 of the starter deck Terramon. This allows you to search out pretty much the rest of the deck, allowing you to pull 1 Bird or Avian and 1 Vortex Warrior and Liberator card from among them for a cost of 3. But not only that, your turn, this Digimon gains plus 2000 as well. Very nice of getting over a lot of the other Digimon that are currently existing in this meta, just by giving you that extra 2k buff. Now, on top of that, we are also running 4 of the EX7 Terramon. This is great for allowing you to climb quickly. You can play this off of a scramble, for example, spoilers, and then start climbing into another Digimon with Vortex. For example, going into the promo Galemon, spending something else, evolving for 1 less again. You're kind of getting into your level 5 and even maybe your level 6 for 2 or 3 less memory than anything else. But the reason that is, of course, which I didn't explain, your turn, when this Digimon would digivolve into an Avian or Bird, in its traits, reduce the cost by 1. On top of that, if this Digimon kills a Digimon in battle, or delete, sorry, not kills, gain 1 memory. Very nice. We are running 2 of the promo Terramons. This is, of course, the on-play suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, falling more into that, just forcing your opponent to suspend sort of thing. He also gives your opponent, this Digimon gains plus 2k inherit. And then to cap off the level 3s, I've started to run 2 of the Mutromon. Again, I don't know, there's maybe grounds to swap across to 4 of the promo Terramon again. But for now, Mutromon is nice because when this Digimon gets suspended, when in effect suspends this Digimon, sorry, one of your Digimon with Avian Bird in its traits, or the Vortex Warrior trait, gains 3k until the end of your opponent's turn, and also gives the inherit of piercing. So you're not really needing to rely on Shoto too much, but it's not bad overall. Still very debatable on Mucho though, but that's just my opinion. Moving on to the 4s, we are running 2 of the promo Galemon. This of course is the Evolution Top 4 artwork, but when digivolving, by suspending 1 Digimon, this Digimon gains 2k until the end of your turn. While you have a Shoto, this Digimon gains piercing, gives the inherit of plus 2000 DP as well. So, kind of just looking at buffing up our Zephagamon as much as we can. On top of that, we are running 3 of the EX7 Galemon. This is the one that lets you get a Shoto down for free while you have 1 or less Tamers, but the inherit is also gain 1 memory if you delete an opponent's Digimon in battle. So not that bad. Very versatile and toolboxy card, I feel, especially to get Shotos down. But the main card of this format is now the promo Galemon. I still haven't got my winners, which is upsetting, because I've just not been winning. This format has been quite rough for me, in my opinion. But no, on play when digivolving for a cost of 4, play cost 4, evolve cost 2, yada yada. You may suspend 1 Digimon, then if it's your turn, this Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon with Avian or Bird in its traits from your hand. For every other suspended Digimon, reduce this effect by 1, reduce this Digivolution cost by 1. That's why I was saying that maybe, for example, if we have the EX7 Terror, you evolve for a cost of 1, thanks to Terramon's effect. You suspend, say, a Mucho on your side or one of your opponent's Digimon, and then you can evolve into your level 5 for 1 or 2 less, depending on what else has happened on the board so far. Or maybe even 3 less as well, if this is like the last thing you're doing in a turn, for example. That's not bad overall. We are running 4 of those. Just once again, it allows you to suspend and climb for even cheaper. It's not the end of the world. Of course, once again, giving the inherit of plus 2000 DP during your turn. Moving on to the 5s, as I spoke about, I am a fake finalist. Hooray, whoop-de-doo, thank you to those who managed to get over to Glasgow or Amsterdam during this time. I've got 1 more, and I might order 1 more as well, so I'm only looking for 1 more. Champion would be amazing. Alas, they are way too expensive for me. Of course, this is the EX7 one. This is the big boy that has been splashed into flipping plants, for example. Big up Johnny Lowe. But he has Vortex, of course. We know what Vortex does at this point, but I'll explain it in a minute. When digivolving, you may suspend 1 Digimon. If this effect suspended one of your Digimon, this Digimon isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon until the end of their turn. Beautiful. Immunity for your opponent's turn as well. So, like, you can't get digivolved, you can't get popped, but options still get you. All of these decks that I play are just not immune to options, and it pains me. It just pains me. However, the inherited effect, of course, is your turn once per turn. When this Digimon attacks your opponent's Digimon, this Digimon may unsuspend. Cool. Very nice. Vortex, by the way, at the end of your turn, you may attack an opponent's Digimon. You cannot attack them directly, you have to attack a Digimon. You can do this the turn that this Digimon was played as well. It was kind of like a blitz rush into a Digimon in that sense. That's kind of how we've been looking at it. We are running 2 of the starter deck Galemon as well. This allows you to extend your board a little bit. You can suspend this guy, you can suspend another one of your Digimon, for example, but you can then play a Bird or Avian with 3000 or less DP from your hand without paying the cost. This is where like the Metro comes into play, this is where the on-play Suspend Terror comes into play, this is where the Searcher comes into play. The starter deck Grand Gale kind of just allows you to keep extending your board, go wide, making more things, cost reduction and stuff like that, all of that good stuff. So it's not the end of the world, but it's also not amazing because we want a Vortex. This guy doesn't have Vortex. Grand Gale, of course, when this Digimon attacks you may unsuspend, as long as it's into an opponent's Digimon. Same as the EX7 Grand Gale. And then to cap off the 5s, we're running 1 Rapidmon from starter deck 17, the Terriermon starter deck. On play when digivolving, digivolve 1. Cool, this is a 4-cost digivolve 1, but that kind of stops things. And then if you have a green tamer until the end of your opponent's turn, your opponent's effects can't delete this Digimon or return it to the hand or deck. Removal protection, except for digivolve, basically. Not only that, but we're running it for the inherit of when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, trash the top card of their security stack. So even if you can't get the unsuspend to get a second check or whatever, being able to trash a security with potentially piercing is just insane. Maybe doing 2 or 3 checks during a turn, just clearing out security as you can. This deck is not an OTK deck, so definitely not in that realm. Moving on to the 6s. Now, we have unfortunately we've just completely shredded out the EX7 Zephaga. As much as I love that card, as much as it was my first SP, the glorious EX7 Zephagamon does not exist in the deck anymore. That is because the whole game plan is to just survive. Become immune, become a somewhat big blocker, become a guy that just survives on board every turn. All that good stuff. So again, this card has Vortex, but when digivolving, suspend 1 Digimon, then unsuspend 1 Digimon. Suspend your opponents, unsuspend this. If you've done the protection off of Grand Gale, off of EX7 Grand Gale. If you've done the protection off of him, on himself, then you unsuspend. If for whatever reason you wanted to suspend your opponent's Digimon, then unsuspend your opponent's Digimon, you can. I don't know why you'd ever want to do that, but that's an option. Not only that, but all turns, once per turn, when a Digimon becomes unsuspended, this Digimon will gain 3000 and isn't affected by your opponent's Digimon effects until the end of the turn. It only lasts for that turn, but protections are cool, right? Plus 3k is also cool. So it goes up to 14, 16, 18 potentially. There's probably more ways to get it, like Muchomon, you get another 3k. You're going big. Now, like I said, Medieval Gallantmon is in this deck. the archetypal Medieval Gallantmon. phenomenal card. This card broke the game for a little bit, let's be honest. When this Digimon would be played, by suspending 2 Digimon, reduce the play cost by 4, taking it down to a 7 play cost. Not only that, you're suspending 2 Digimon. That can be one of yours, one of your opponents, 2 of yours, 2 of your opponents. Spend any 2 Digimon. As long as it can be suspended, reduce the cost, right? And then you're playing it for 7. Alliance and Vortex. Not only that, but all turns, when Digimon are played, you may activate one of this Digimon's when Digivolving effects. This card sees itself get played. So you drop this for 7, the all turns triggers, the when Digivolving, of course, is then you may suspend 1 more Digimon. Cool, so if you've suspended 2 and dropped him, you're suspending 3 Digimon total. Insane card. You may then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8,000 or less DP. For each other suspended Digimon, not himself, you may you add 3,000 to this DP deletion effect. So you've just suspended 3 Digimon, for example. That's what, 369 on top of 8,000? That takes you to 17,000. I think. Maths. Yep. 17,000. You're deleting a 17,000 DP Digimon. Just off of dropping him for 7. If that's into an ace, that's you're overflowing and getting more memory back. Amazing. But this is where the deck gets funny, gets better, gets cooler. Zephagamon Ace. Nobody's read this card. Nobody's read this card. He goes over the top of any level 6 Vortex Warrior with a play cost of 10 or more, so he can't go over himself, but he can go over any Zephagamon basically. And he goes over Medieval as well. Very funny, because Medieval is a Vortex Warrior. Piercing, Vortex, and Blocker. Blast Digivolution. All turns, when any Digimon suspends, this Digimon may unsuspend. Cool, very nice. 2 swings, basically. 2 blocks, basically. Very nice. But the kicker is, on play when Digivolve, you may suspend 1 Digimon. Then, for every 2 suspended Digimon, you may return 1 of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of the deck. For example, you've just hard-dropped Medieval Galamon. You've just suspended 3 Digimon, like we said. Your opponent attacks. Zephagamon Ace comes down. Or even, like, you've managed to keep turn by evolving him, suspended 1, evo into this for 1, suspend another. So what, right? 2 Digimon, you're bottom decking at least one thing, more often than not. Because this card can suspend itself, then bottom deck, then his all turns will trigger to unsuspend. That is the order of processing that happens. Zephagamon Ace, insane. The only downside is no protections. He is 13,000 however. Not bad. A little bit underwhelming, don't get me wrong, but a nice kicker that this deck did need from the get-go, right? To cap it all off on the Digimon, we are running 1 of the Impildramon Paladin mode. There's grounds to probably swap back to Quartzmon for me here. But being able to go Paladin mode, put my deck back in, put your opponent's deck back in if they're playing a purple deck, for example, and then swing. That sort of stuff, right? It's just, it's great. In my opinion, not the best. Again, Quartzmon could probably be more utilised here if you're playing against things like Crossheart, like Blue Flare. Royal Knights doesn't really care about Quartz, but like the decks that will have multiple things on board, right? Moving on to options, we've got 3 scrambles. Self-explanatory these days. Scramble, stop yourself from decking out if you can't find Paladin mode, for example. Play a Terramon if you have no Digimon on board. Evolve for less, like, it just does everything you need. Alongside, we're running 3 agility trainings. Once again, search top 2, pull a piece you need, yada yada yada. Evolve for 2 less next turn. I'd say the modern day memory boost, but not quite. But that is quite funny to think about. On to Tamers, we are running 2 of the starter deck one. This is the one, well, first of all, this is your memory setter, so very nice. But this is also the one that when a Digimon attacks, you may redirect into an opponent's suspended Digimon. No, not even just one of your opponent's Digimon. Or the player themselves. So, cool, turn that Vortex attack into lethal. Be the comic. Be the comic you want it to be. We're running 2 of the BT20 Shoto Kazuma. This card I still find quite strange. It's a nice utility card, but at the same time, like, like he feels very mid in my opinion, and I'm so tempted to swap back to the promo Shoto, simply just to get the cheaper Evos again. But this guy, he's a nice utility in the sense that at the start of your main phase, by returning this Tamer to the bottom of your deck, you may play 1 Shoto from your hand. So really, if he's the only Shoto you have down, and you have this one in your hand, your Setter in your hand, and you want to start rotating things out, you bottom deck this Shoto, play this one instead. Right? That's kind of what it's like. Or if you're missing, for example, an EX7 one, bottom deck this, play an EX7. So like, he's versatile in that sense. However, at the end of your turn, by suspending this Tamer, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and until the end of their turn, one of your Digimon gets plus 2k. That's where the use of this Tamer comes in. He's used for the plus 2k, suspend a thing, give guaranteed Vortex, basically. Because combine that with the 4 of these EX7 Shoto Kazumas, which give Piercing and Blocker, and unsuspends a Vortex Warrior. Trigger this one, suspend him, spend one of your opponent's Digimon plus 2k to your Zephagamon or Medieval. Vortex in, alliance with Medieval. I didn't even mention the alliance with Medieval, let's be honest. Then you trigger this to unsuspend your Medieval. If you have a second one, you unsuspend your other Digimon maybe, or whatever. You give Piercing and Blocker. You've just done big damage in the case of having 2 Tamers. But I'm slowly becoming a green player in this sense that I just love. I'm in love with the Zephaga archetype. I'm in love with this guy. It's just so cool. Slowly becoming like my second favourite Digimon, maybe my third favourite, I don't know. I'm yet to figure that out. Ooh. But that's the current state of Zephagamon. Zephagamon, whatever the hell you want to call him. Let me know what decks you want to see next. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.